Welcome once again to another Astral Sorcery update, bit-by-bit video. For those that are unfamiliar with Astral Sorcery, you really should get into this mod. It is just too fantastic to miss. But it is created by HellFirePvP, and this episode is all about some of the new changes. Biggest one, all of the perks from your attunement have been changed. Alright, so this is actually, I'm not going to cover everything that can go on with the perks, but I am going to kind of walk you through it. So, if you open up your Astral Tome, your journal, however you want to call it, etc., and you have progressed far enough that you have attuned yourself to obtain perks. This little perks tab up here. When you click on this, it will be a much bigger thing than you might expect. And of course, you will have to attune yourself to one of the 5 root starters, which is like Vicio, Armara, Dissidia, Evorcio, or Evitus. And in this case, I have 3 of them attuned to myself. That's right, you're not limited to just one anymore. And you have a maximum of 30 levels, which, by the way, you're really going to start having some trouble getting past around like 17 or so. It's going to be really a bit of a grind once you're in the 20s if you're going that route. Just letting you know. But you can customize this. You can skip over these. You can refine everything, and you can double up. It's crazy how much you can do. So remember, you can get a maximum of 30 levels, not necessarily 30 placements. Reason I say that is because there is one on here that actually grants you 3 additional perk points. Of course, you have to spend 1 to get it, so that technically just gives you 2, because 1 exchanges for it. But anyway, in this case, I started with Dissidia. I continued on, and I'm just giving this as an example. This is not necessarily the way that you need to go. Each one of these really big circular ones here represents, as you see here, a major perk. These are active. The reason that it's important that these are active is because up here is a sealing sigil. Sealing sigil, or sigil, however you'd like to pronounce it, it's made with a little bit of nocturnal powder, glass lens, and stardust. It's really dirt cheap, to be honest, and it's a good thing too, because if you want to shut off some ability on here, let's say that you went down here and, where is it? Gain life. Yeah, that's great. And then more life, bloom, melding, increased elemental resistance, and thick skin, and everything. But then you get into something like this, stone enrichment. Stone near you might turn into more valuable stone. And you've made this wonderful design in your base that is mostly stone. This perk in some areas might be hugely beneficial, but in that case it might be, I need to turn that off because it keeps on converting my walls into like gold ore. It's really annoying, or coal or something. That's where you can use one of these sealing sigils. So you can take it and you can actually place it on here and shut off the effect. It just skips over. It doesn't refund you the point or anything like that, but it will just skip this effect. And then if you want to break it or undo it, you just double click. And then it goes away. So this is kind of how these work, but there's so much to them. I mean, the customization on this is amazing. I believe Hellfire actually worked on this because there's percentages increased and everything with, and there's like a straight up pluses for like this one, +2 maximum life, but then here there's 5% increased max life, and which one stacks with which and stuff. He used a Path of Exile type setup that he was inspired from, and I might like post a picture of that or something like that. I don't know, but it's really good how he did this. So let's take a look at what I've got set up here. I've got bonus to crit chance, more melee damage, projectile damage, more melee and projectile and crit damage. And then I went up here, I've got heavy strike, so more melee and crit damage, etc. It's just a lot of the same, right? Well, I branched off. I went over this way, and I went out and made this big loop, which actually, if you look, I've got increased effectiveness of perks. You might think, well, what the heck good is that? That's going to affect a lot of these other things, like 10% increased melee damage, and your 5% more melee damage, and your crit damage modifier. This increases all this extra stuff here. So this, while it seems small, is actually tremendous with how much it can potentially influence. If you have a whole bunch of these that increase stuff by like 5 or 10%, then something else that increases all of those by this much, that's quite a lot. But let's continue on. Increased perk effect, added crit melee, increased crit melee. Oh my gosh, so much plus 20% crit chance. And I don't need to be jumping to do crits anymore. I can just hit things with my bare hands and pretty much kill them. But lethal draw continued on around. So basically, I took this entire path here was just to heavily increase my damage, whether it be with a melee weapon like this wooden sword or a bow. Then I moved over here into this area, which gave me, 3% of damage dealt gained his life. 5% gained his life, and 2 to maximum life. Excellent. That gave me an extra heart. And then I've got plus 15% increased effectiveness to perks. And then moved on further, increasing the perk bonus down to the center here. Singularity. One that grants you 3 additional perk points, and other tree roots may be unlocked without requiring a connection to the existing perks. When it says tree roots, it doesn't actually mean like a growing tree. No. It means these here, your 5 core constellations. And in this case, it means that you can just jump straight over to another one and start unlocking those. And that's exactly what I did. I jumped over to Armara, gave myself a bunch of armor bonuses. Then I jumped over here to Evitus and gave myself some extra life, as well as 5% increased life, which gave me like 2 extra hearts after I already had increased my life and so on. It was really, really good. Tremendous. And the amount of benefits you can get off of this is like superb. But there are tons of options. I mean, if you go out here, there's these triangle ones here. They're around an epiphany. These epiphanies and these other ones, 20% increased perk experience gained. This is like kind of playing the long-term game here. If you really want, you should probably go for these big triangles because look, 20%, 20%, 20% increased perk experience. Why would I want to go for that? Valen, I mean, seriously, because you can reset all these and keep your XP for the Astral Sorcery, set up. So it's it's really encouraging for you to redesign this however you would like to go. It's really good. But anyway, I was talking about epiphanies. Other epiphany nodes may be unlocked, so you can branch out to one epiphany node. In this case, I guess I'm kind of close to this one. I could have gone this way and then gotten all of these. Then it automatically unlocks that I can start at here or here and get all these ones, which will definitely speed up your level progress in the perks. Then once you get all the perk points that you so desire, you can refund them and respend them elsewhere. It's a great way to go, and there's so much to choose from. I mean, let's see, increased potion effect duration. You've got breaking blocks, has a chance of breaking up to multiples more. You've got, you can shoot lightning arcs from one foe to another or target hit. You can add bleeding effects. You can add tons of armor. You can have yourself not die briefly in some situations. You can reduce your food intake. It's all a lot of the similar stuff to what the perks used to be, but there's a lot more to choose from. As you see, there's tons of like increased attack speed. Stepping up single blocks seems way easier. So it gives you step assist. Plants around you grow faster, something that you may or may not want, and you can now turn it off if you so want to. Of course, I haven't unlocked that one, so it's not going to let me turn that off. But you can increase the reach that you have. You can turn all your armor that you have into health instead. It's so customizable, it's ridiculous. So how do you refund and respend those points? That is here. The Astral Sorcery Irradiant Stars. How do you make these? Well, they are rather end game, but that's the whole point, right? Is to get end game and make yourself totally overpowered. So you've got your shifting stars. You take that and upgrade it into an irradiant star of the appropriate one that you want to start with. Evorcio, Evitus, Vicio, Armara, or Dissidia. And then you can start again down that path, spending all your points like you want. And to give an example, let's actually take Armara here. And if I use this now, I could reset them. Actually, let me give a brief example of some of the mobs here. Let's grab some spiders. And now if I hit this, you can see that they just die from a wooden sword. They're getting like massive crit hits. They're done. I could easily just take them out with a bow. You have to wait for it to be fully wound back, but I mean it's nothing really much to worry about now because I've got so much extra damage. Of course, the bow wasn't pulled back all the way there, but you get the idea that I focused on melee and projectile damage. I added in a bit of armor, and let's clear that out. There you go. I added a bit of armor resistance and a bunch more health. As you can see, I have 14 hearts instead of the standard 10. So if I use this, a Radiant Star, all that goes away. Ooh, pretty. Very pretty. And it breaks. The effect happens. And it says the light subtly shifts. You open up your setup. I have all 30 points. And I am now starting again at Armara. And I could feasibly start unlocking all sorts of stuff here. Working my way around. 15% increase to perks. It's great. Or I could work my way back down to the center again. And Singularity. Boom. And now they're all open. I could actually put a point in every single one of these. And I could gain XP by dealing damage. By breaking blocks. By building things. By traveling the world or walking around. By taking damage. All of these now can give me XP. So there's so many different ways that you can go with this. I mean, and I could easily branch out into a different area. Let's go with the lightning arcs. That just sounds like it's too much fun to pass up. I think I can reach it from here. Let's try this. Here, there we go. And I can start getting a bunch of lightning arcs going on here. Now, I still even have 8 points left because, of course, by getting to this center, I got 2 points, or I got 3 points refunded. Let's actually increase this a bunch as well. There we go. Perfect. And excellent. I think I'm going to do a little bit more. 20% perks, XP. I don't need the XP anymore because I'm already max level. There, I still have a few left, but you can now see that I have effectively added in a new ability. I should be able to zap a lot of mobs with a single hit. And the damage that you do carries over to all of them. So if you hit them with a fist, it's not going to be as effective as if you hit them with something much stronger, like a really beefy sword or something. And it's not going to be like the same exact damage to all of them. But you get the idea. It's just really fantastic. And that was my pug. No, I did not fart. It was really fantastic how much you can customize yourself now with your perks. You are no longer limited to the old school, I'm going to pick Armara and be done with it. You can now have all the things that you really wanted with all the different perks, for the most part. And you can still mess around with some of your fun toys that you want. Ugh. Anyway. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Really love me some Astral Sorcery in case you did not already know. And for those that are curious, I have a flare floating around above my head. It is an Astral Sorcery little friend there. And if you are interested in getting some of those, you can also support the maker of this mod. His name is HellFirePvP, and you can find him on Patreon. I'll have a link in the description below. Anyway, you can also get your own if you meet the appropriate level anytime that you play Astral Sorcery stuff. So, I'll see you guys in the future. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, be sure to spread the mischief to anybody that you think might actually have an interest in some of these videos. I know that I was kind of scattered and all over the place today, but it's just a lot of excitement with the Astral Sorcery videos. I mean, you know this stuff is really good. Anyway, see ya.